If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
My, it's almost a little bit strange how things can change so quickly in this life and in this sport that we so chose to. We do love it. As difficult as it may be sometimes. We do love it. Jimmy Pilato, Nico Bryant here, far end of the bench, live stream following playoffs for the Colorado Avalanche. They lose Game 5 to the Dallas Stars and give up a tied series. It is now a 3-2 series going back to Denver for Game 6, but we're here. We're going to talk quickly about it. It's not going to be too much because really there isn't a whole lot else to say other than that was the total reverse of Game 4. I think that everybody can agree on that, and it's hard to see your team. It just felt like they literally could not do anything. It looked like watching a youth team play against professionals pretty much the entire game. So now I know how Dallas felt on Saturday. But what were your thoughts about today?
I mean, it was just an all-out, just heartbreaking game because obviously the first two goals go in after. Obviously, the first goal goes in 9 seconds, and that's just a backbreaker. And the second one just gets tipped up in the air and goes off the goalie's back, and that just like was such a deflator. It's just like fuck, here we go. Here the bad bounces come. Then you had that stretch in the second period where you got hot, right? You got hot, got within one goal, and
2 goals within 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Exactly. And I mean, when it was 3-0, I was looking at the game. I was like, man, if we could just at least try to get one this second period, that'd be huge for this team going into the third period and trying to get a push back here. But this team fought back 2 goals, and then they made dumb mistakes and had dumb penalties. And with the power play unit as bad as the Avs have right now, and a power play unit that's as good as the Stars have currently, you cannot go on the PK all the time against this team. And I mean, you saw the clip from Nathan McKinnon chirping out Charlie Coyle for his effort on the power play, right? You saw the effort of the defense and how once one of our defenders lost his stick, it was basically a tap and goal from the far side cross ice. Like it's just the little things that this team didn't do correctly and hurt them. And like I said, you're in a situation where you had to in a 3-game series, like it is currently right now, a 3-game series, you have to win it one in Dallas. Well, you didn't win the first one, and now you're in a situation where you're coming home, same situation as last year, literally the same exact situation as last year, right? You lose Game 5 after being getting it tied 2-2, and you're in Game 6 at home, and Duchesne is the winner that moved Dallas on last year. Let's see if this team has the guts. To pull it out and force a Game 7 and go forward, because tonight I thought McKinnon was good. I thought Cale was very, very poor. I thought he had one of his worst games of the playoffs so far. Blackwood had tough bounce after tough bounce, and frankly, he was just getting shelled after shot after shot. Like I said, there was more 1-on-0, 2-on-1, 3-on-2 fast breaks that I saw every single fast break for the Stars that was not seeing the other direction for the Avs. And it was the juice off the opening rip, right? What's one way to get a building woken up? Score in the first 10 seconds of the game, right? They're already on their feet with the pregame hype music and the introductions and blah, 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 right? 9 seconds in, you already have the building going ruckus. You can't show up right away. I mean, I understand the bounce is weird, but at the same time, like, you cannot start a game like that, especially 9 seconds in.
It seemed as though, and this is a very young playoff roster, like we mentioned, it is an overhaul. Chris McFarland is up for GM of the year for what he did to this roster. But it seemed like after Game 4, they just expected Dallas to come out with nothing. This is a team that has made it to the Western Conference Finals as recently as a year ago. So this team is not going to go away, and they know how to respond. We thought they knew how to respond. We thought that Game 4 was going to be the start of this new trend, and they went all the way back to Game 3 where it is truly just a lack of effort. Whenever there was a puck taken away in the neutral zone, Dallas was 3 guys buzzing right away. We didn't have any of our defensemen chipping in. We could not keep offensive zone pressure today.
Manson can't keep the puck in to save his life. I mean, I've seen more pucks go off Manson's stick past the blue line this series than I have the last 3 years since he joined the team.
At this point, Manson, you're not going to take him out because he does provide enough offensively. But I would say Lindgren could possibly be scratched for EJ. Let's see if EJ is going to make as many dumb fucking penalties as Lindgren or lose as many pucks as Lindgren does. I get that he's a decent defender, but right now there's something like you need energy, you need effort, you need guys that are willing to get in some. We have a guy that's willing to get in somebody else's face. Nobody's listening. Everybody just wants the Stars to give up, and that's just not going to happen. And if this is what we're seeing in round one, this team is definitely not ready for a deep run because teams just don't give up. Making it to the dance is the big thing. You're not going to get anybody to give up. Look at Ottawa. They won after being down 3-0, and their series is still alive.
I will say, outside that 2-minute stretch where you got within one goal, this team didn't really give up outside of those 2 minutes, right? They really laid down outside of that. But it's just ridiculous because, like, you make all these moves, right? You make all these moves, and kudos to Chris McFarland making all the moves and helping get this team better because this is, frankly, a much better roster than we fielded the last couple of years in the playoffs. But you're looking at a roster filled with names that don't have playoff success, right? They don't have playoff success. They have been to the show, but they've struggled to win playoff games. Brock Nelson comes to mind. Charlie Coyle was not on those really good Boston teams in the late 2010s. If he was very young at the time, right?
He was on the most recent ones that had the early season struggles.
Early season struggles, exactly. Like Lindgren was on a lot of Rangers teams that frankly were failures in the playoffs. Blackwood, I think, has been very, very good. Like, I'm not going to give him the slight because he's helped this team. He kept this team in the game for obviously for most part of it, and then just got shuck after shuck after shuck, and it's just frustrating because like you see the guys who want it, and you see the guys who are complete, and that's the biggest frustration in these losses, especially the 2 overtime losses too, right? Like you were leading for a majority of the series, the entire game, and you go into game 5, and you don't lead for a second this game. Frankly, you weren't even tied for more than 9 seconds. You weren't even tied for more than 9 seconds this game. That's 60 minutes of the opposite direction of time of leading. That just changed around this whole series, and it's just frustrating because look, Dallas did what they were supposed to do. Let's also not sugarcoat it. They were supposed to win in their home ice, right? As the away opponent, you when the opponent, the away team that wins a game 5 is very, very rare. It's very, very small, especially when the series is tied 2-2. And the way you have to look at game 6 is like it's a do or die. Does this team want to self-combust? Because it already self-combusted, right? There's a lot of names that are going to be shown the door.
I would even say if the game 6 is close and you still end up losing, you know exactly why you lost this series. You could look to multiple points in this series. You can go back to game 5. You can go back to game 3 as to why you're going home again early. If that is the case, if that happens after game 6, I feel like that's the difference this year than last year. Last year, there was so many things off the ice. This year, it's truly just you in the biggest moments when you needed to have it, you didn't.
No, it's very true. And like I said, it's relying on 29. It's relying on 13. Frankly, it's weird to fucking say this, but it's relying on 92, who hasn't played in 1,000 games.
I was so scared when he blew his edge. I was so nervous.
He's been your best forward now outside Nichushkin this entire playoff series. The guy hasn't played in 1,000 games. Right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Insane the sense that he's able to keep after 1,000 days. He's one touching, no look passes.
It's been amazing. But at the same time, Drew, where the fuck are you? Right?
He's fumbling the puck back over the blue line.
We talked your praise for 4 games. Nowhere to be seen tonight. Yeah. Right? There's Charlie Coyle, nowhere to be seen tonight, making dumb plays, right? These forward lines, 92 is coming off of one of the worst injuries you could ever have as a professional athlete. Only a handful of athletes have ever come back from this injury, and they are not playing at this level. And you are relying way too much on 92 to be an offensive threat. That should be a complimentary piece. It shouldn't be the guy you go to score, Brock Nelson. Shouldn't be the guy you go to score, Val Nichushkin. You should be producing your own offensive output. Like I said, we said this for a series. If the Stars want to play these 4-3, 3-2 hockey games, we can win these. That's if you're producing. And you're not getting production from your top 6, top 9. And like I said, Dallas didn't produce their top 6 through 4 games. Top 6 today.
It was bad to play as poorly as you did the game that Dallas's big guys decided to show up today.
They showed up today. They absolutely showed up today. And the Rantanen goal was a mental lapse. mental lapse, right? Obviously, the first two plays, the Wyatt Johnson goal and the one off Blackwood's back are two fluke plays. But at the same time, their top six has shown up. McKinnon showed up tonight, put one of the goals. She was producing, running around. Where the hell is the rest of the guys?
Nietzsche and Lehkonen ended up getting on. Those were the two goals. Was McKinnon and then Lehkonen off of, or Nietzsche.
Lucky is set up a lot of assists here, but frankly, he has not been a threat to score this series.
No, I don't think Lecky should be on the first line. Lecky's a good second, third line guy. Lecky's not a first line winger. There should be a difference in the way that they roll the lines out there. But today, like, there was just a lack of fundamentals. I don't know how many times I've set up a backdoor tap in a video game, but it probably wasn't half as much as Dallas set it up tonight. And it was working. It was there every single time. Nobody on the Avalanche defense was covering the backdoor tap in. And when you give it up as much times as you do, NHL teams are going to be able to put those in, whether your goalie's staying on his head or not. And tonight, you knew from the very beginning this was just going to be a weird one. It's totally strange. You're just throwing pucks off the end board, and they're happening to go in.
What makes it even worse is, like, Ottinger is not a goalie where you can have a 3-0 deficit and expect to come back every single time. This isn't fucking Hellebuck in the playoffs. This isn't fucking the Ducks in February where you can come down for 3-0. Okay? This is the Dallas Stars, who have a damn good offense and one of the best big-time goalies in the league right now in Ottinger. And if you think you're going to play these games down 3-0, down 2-0, down 1-0, which is the first time it's done. Obviously, it's the first time it's happened. It's not sugarcoat. First time it happened in 5 games. But you let this happen, and you are going to be done on Thursday night or Wednesday, whenever they play next. Your season's done. There's a lot of guys that are going to be walking in free agency, and McFarland and Misaki are going to make some decisions on who the hell is going to be sticking around for the near future and who isn't.
Wrapping this game up, the scoring tonight in first period, Wyatt Johnson, 9 seconds in, Thomas Harley gets one towards the end of the period. Mikko Rantanen also scores. He opens up scoring in second period, first goal against the Avalanche. And you got Lehkonen and McKinnon on that little bit of a comeback. Then Johnson gets his second of the day. Marchment adds one. That's a tip off of Devon Tave's stick. Marchment never even touched it. I'd rather give that one to Petrovic. And then Hintz with the empty netter, assisted by Mikko Rantanen to finish out Game 5 of this series. And now we look towards Game 6. We've been saying it pretty much since we started, but the big thing is you got to have everybody. It's do or die now. We're going to see whether or not this team can play like a wounded animal. Wounded animal is supposed to be the most dangerous. Let's see how fucking dangerous this team is. I'm tired of them sugarcoating it. I'm tired of them prancing around. I'm tired of them expecting teams to quit. Go out there and step on somebody's throat and make them quit.
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know if the team has it. I'll be honest with you.
Probably not. But
lack of urgency on the power play. Lack of urgency of guys chirping each other on the bench. That's not a team that has a deep run in them. That's what sucks more than anything. Because frankly, we had an Ottinger game tonight where he played his ass off and let 2 bad ones in. Frankly, we're going to have another Ottinger game in Game 6. Definitely going to have another Ottinger game in Game 7. So I'm looking at the defense and whether or not they can hold them to 1 goal or less if you want to win this series. Because if you expect Dallas to not try to push the pace again on you and return it back, you're lying to yourself, because Dallas will try to go 3 goals. And they feel as though if they score 3 goals, they will win every single game because Ottinger is that good. That's how much faith they have in him.
Here's the thing. You should not give a shit about what the Dallas Stars do. Jared Bednar should not put on any Dallas Stars tape. You don't need to look about. You know exactly what they're trying to set up. You just have to go out there and play your goddamn game.
You need to show all the plays of this game, of all the plays of your players not giving a shit. That's what you need.
Quit worrying about the Dallas Stars right now, Jared Bednar and the Colorado Avalanche. You got plenty to worry about in your own dressing room. That's what they need to be focused on. If they do that, then they will win Game 6 and we'll have a Game 7 in this series. If they decide that they're going to dwell on this one and woe is me, we should have had this one sewn up and we should have had the lead going back home and a chance to finish this one out on home ice, which this team is likely to do. I have no idea which team is going to show up. I just know the mindset of a champion, and right now they just have to make that decision. Like, you make that decision in the dressing room from this moment until puck drop on Game 6.
Let me remind you, it's the mindset of a champion of 5 guys on this roster. The rest of them don't have it. This is the game you play. This is the game you play when you overhaul the entire roster. Because there's not a championship mindset as the 5 guys that were on that roster in 2022.
I'm not talking about it like what I'm expecting from this team. I'm talking about what they need to do. This is what they need to do. And if they don't do it, then we know where we stand, and we'll have a lot of time to sit there and rest and watch the rest of the playoffs.
Offseason is going to come very quickly, especially if the Nuggets somehow get past the second round and get their ass kicked by Oklahoma City. This could be a short playoff show very quickly if the Avs don't.
You know what we should have done? We should have turned on Raw. We should have watched
wrestling. Look, the Nuggets at least are 2-2 right now, and we'll see what the performance is on Game 5 tomorrow night. But frankly, like I said, one team we thought was going to have a long run pissed their pants tonight. The other one, we'll see what they do tomorrow night.
We'll look forward to what happens tomorrow night. We're not going to have a live playoff show afterwards. We'll talk about the Nuggets and the rest of the playoffs and the rest of everything that happened because, the NFL draft did take place this weekend. Make sure you continue to follow, subscribe. As long as the playoffs are around, we'll have the playoff streams, but then we'll obviously have all of our other content coming out the rest of the year. For myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host Nico Bryant, post-game of Avalanche Stars Game 5. We will see you a couple nights.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.